Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition Chronicle, Cradle of Liberty. This is episode 1 of Somber Dreams. Let's meet our somber, dreamy vampires, starting with Avery.
Hello, everyone. Hi, it's me, Avery, at Avery DuBois on all the social media platforms. I style myself as something of an internet personality, and in this time zone, I will be playing the caitiff Burn Rasmussen.
It's totally a caitiff. Luna?
Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the social medias, including on Twitch where I stream. But this time zone, I will be playing Celeste Ortega of Clan La Sombra.
Can't wait to dive a little more into Celeste. Vin?
Oh my gosh, hi. I'm Vin at VinVoxBA on Twitter. It's at Blue Sky, that is VinVox.com, and I'll be playing Marius Weiss, Clan Tremere. Don't worry about it.
And last but not least, Zach.
Good evening, Neonates. My name is Zachary Vaudo. You can find me online at SneakerNet or SneakerNet Music, but here you can find me on the radio as the voice of liberty, your Bruja, Arthur Zebulon.
As always, this is a Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition actual play. We've gone over our safety and consent, but please check in with yourselves as your well-being is important to all of us who are playing. All the content warnings for this game will be down in the description below. So if everyone is ready, let's go to Boston. Mortals clutch at dreams because their days are fleeting. Their ambitions like sparks in the night that are all too quickly and easily extinguished. But what is it to dream when time is no longer your enemy? When centuries stretch before you like an endless road? What is there left to long for? Perhaps Kindred dream to feel the warmth of the sun on their skin again without fear. Maybe it is aspirations to rule, to carve their name in history, to bend the will of man like iron in the forge. If not to rule, then to conquer, to whisper into the ears of kings and topple dynasties with a slip of a blade. Yet what is conquest to one who does not die? Perhaps they dream of love, to taste passions more intoxicating than vitae, stolen kisses under moonlit skies, sworn eternal devotion beneath stars older than the gods. And yet, love is a cruel jest to one who never fades. Then what is left? What is the dream of one who is undying? Maybe it is to forget, to let the past slip from the mind like water through fingers, to no longer carry the weight of ages upon one's shoulders. Perhaps it is to dream of a night without memory, a dawn that might take you unawares, as if you had never lived at all. We open our scene tonight with you, Arthur. Rouse check, please.
I'm good. I rolled a 6.
Okay.
Because I have number dice.
So that leaves you at 1 hunger for this evening. You sit at your booth inside of your radio station, prepared to give the news for this evening.
We pick up in media res. Arthur has been in the middle of speaking about some topic at length and providing some of the actual news of Boston before he slips into the coded messages. Picking up with friends, we'll be getting back to the Sounds of Liberty shortly, but first, a few announcements for our most dedicated of nighttime listeners. 2 new members of our beloved town council were announced at the most recent private gathering. A replacement for the head of business, and a new face for the city. We'll see just how many faces of their own they bring with them. The induction of new members came with an additional announcement. The town council is making motions to ease up on the hiring freeze that the city has experienced for the last few years. At current, council members are the sole source of hiring, but this is expected to expand in the future. We're already seeing the boon of this motion. The first new local magister has been brought in by the council itself. Welcome to the club. In other news, the previously mentioned ignoble individuals who may be responsible for Park Street Station are still unfortunately in the wind, just about as scattered as pieces of a broken mirror. But keep a sharp and cautious eye out. We wouldn't want to be caught unawares should the next shoe drop. And speaking of keeping an eye out, folks, there's anarchy in the streets as gang activity is on the rise. Listeners are advised that if you see something, steer far clear of it unless you want to become something. We're going to bring you back to the music now. This one's from the locals. Here's Tisk Tisk Task with Intolerable. And I hit the button, and the music begins and the microphone is off.
As soon as you hit the button and what was it again? Tisk tisk task?
Tisk tisk task.
You hear a very uncomfortable presence press into your mind and a voice bloom in your head. Hey, you should totally play Rebel Yell. That was one of your daddy's favorites. Or maybe it was White Wedding. I can't remember.
It's local hour. Forrest, I'm going to hit the button for the production booth. Forrest, you in there?
You look around and you see Forrest gathering up his things. He just got here maybe less than an hour ago, and he's already gathering up his things, throwing them into a bag. Yeah, sorry, Arthur. I didn't want to interrupt you. I have to go.
Something going on that I need to know about?
Peggy's not doing well, and she's asked me to take her to go see her mom in Belchertown. I guess she's looking for a little TLC from someone familiar.
That makes perfect sense. Go ahead and do that. Take as much time as you two need. I think we'll be fine here. I'm probably going to run some uninterrupted music for a while as it is.
I hope you're right. I took her to the doctor. They say that she's having strange symptoms that they can't quite pin down, and I wish she'd stay here so she can get more tests done, but she just wants to go see her mom real bad.
Maybe getting further away from the city will be good for her. It's getting a little crowded here sometimes.
What are you talking about on the news? Anarchy on the rise. Is there something I should know about?
Like I said, gang warfare. Just make sure that you are in your car and not walking the streets over to Belchertown.
Well, I wouldn't walk to Belchertown unless you had about $10,000 you were willing to slap down on my hands.
Exactly my point. Just stay safe out there, all right?
Sure, you too, I guess. You okay? I know you're not as bad off as Peggy, but you haven't been quite your, let's call it, vivacious self lately.
I'm just hoping that our new security system does its job better than the last one did. Having people storm the station, as revolutionary as it might be, is not my idea of a great night.
Well, maybe you should take the night off. Maybe do something relaxing.
That's part of why I'm thinking about running some uninterrupted music for the next couple of hours.
And I don't mean to pry into your personal business. I did see a light on in your apartment across the water. You have a guest?
Oh, shit. Nope, that's on me. My bad. Hi, thank you for that. I don't want to pay any more on the electrical bill than I have to.
I mean, Arthur, if you have a guest over, you don't have to hide it from me. I know you're very secretive about your personal life.
If I had a guest, I wouldn't be hiding it. Don't you worry.
Whatever you say. Do you stay in the station, or do you head back over to your place?
I'm going to stay in the station until Forrest is gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll set up, the playlist. I have it's about 2.5 hours of local bands just in a row. It's late night radio, so people aren't going to be too perturbed if I'm suddenly not there for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I'll head across the bridge back towards my apartment.
As Forrest leaves, the voice presses in your mind again, a low, rumbling, throaty chuckle. He says, "What's the matter with your girl?"
I know that you might be used to voices in your head, given your clan and all, but I'm not.
You can just say you don't want to answer the question, Arthur.
I'm saying that as far as I'm aware, you're dead, and this is an awkward conversation.
We're all dead.
And apparently some of us don't know it yet.
We'll see how dead I am real soon.
I will get up and head out of the radio station, setting the alarm and walking across, I think it's Congress Street Bridge over to the apartment.
Speaking of, across Congress Street, the light is, of course, you, Celeste. You're standing in Arthur's apartment, where he's let you stay in the interim until you find your own place, as your sire has kicked you out summarily from the church that he's staying in. And you have very little accoutrement with you. You have some clothes. Of course, you have a very roomy cage for Olvido. You have one picture that you managed to print out before you became what you are, sneak across the border out of your sire's prying eyes. It's the last picture of you celebrating a birthday, at least the last one that you can remember, your 20th birthday. All of your friends, your socialite friends at some nightclub, some new nightclub that opened up, and you were there promoting it. And you can see in the very, very corner some strange pixelation, strange smudge of the printing. You know that Ezra was there that night, watching you even back then. And something I didn't do for you, Celeste, in your prologue, because I had forgotten. 3 rouse checks, please.
Of course.
Welcome to the Chronicle.
2 successes, 1 failure.
So you are at 2 hunger this evening. Not terrible. It's a little pain in the stomach, a little itching in the teeth. And Olvido looks at you and says, snack?
Sure, snack. I'll grab him something from his little bag that I have packed of things I have for him.
Give him a pistachio or a cashew or something.
Yeah.
He takes it happily, but then he says, I meant snack for you.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. For now.
Can't lie to me, we are oldest friends.
Give him a little pet with 1 finger on his head. That's true. No, I'll find something later. I don't really want to leave yet.
You stay here now?
For now, until I can find my own place.
Miss Church, lots of places to fly.
That makes one of us missing it.
Now, you look at your things. I said you have very few things. You look at your many broken cell phones that you've had. You continuously get new ones, and they break quite easily. You have your newest one. Please roll me wits and technology, a reminder of your hunger.
Right. All right.
If you roll less than if you roll less than 2, your phone will break, and you can add it to the pile of all your broken phones. That is part of the Somber Bane, unfortunately. 3. So it doesn't. It sort of glitches out for half a second, and you're like, oh god, here we go. You know, another one. Mint Mobile, or I don't know. I have no idea what they use in the States anymore. I have no idea. And it glitches out for a second, but it pops back on, and you see you have 1 text message from your sister, Carmen.
I'll open it up and read it.
And it says, hey, we're going home for the holidays. We are in winter time and Christmas is coming up. Will you meet us?
I think now that she's out, seemingly out from under Ezra's thumb, at least a little bit, I think it's very tempting, at least to meet them before they leave.
As you have that thought, second text comes through from your brother, Carmen's twin Carlos, that says, Senor Contreras says you are staying near the radio station. Can we meet?
I'll message that will take something off a little bit and just say sure. Anywhere in particular?
Carlos responds, radio station?
Sure.
Only 1 more wits and technology. Let's see if the phone breaks after this conversation.
2.
It glitches out for a long time. The screen goes completely black before it flickers once, twice, and then stays on.
Can I ask when they want to meet? It's probably important.
Yes. They said 15 minutes.
Oh shit, okay. In that case, yeah, I'll pocket my phone, let Olvido out, and be like, you ready to take a flight? Feels get some air.
Yes. This alcove too small. You should talk to man. We should have bigger place. We deserve it.
Yeah, we do.
Alcove big enough for me, not big enough for us two.
That's so.
Yes.
I'll take it under advisement.
Good.
And
You
I
should
will-
listen to my advice.
And with that, I'll be walking out, and as we get outside, I'll let Oviedo fly.
He does. Flies up into the air. You look across the water to where there's the radio station. It's a short walk across a bridge. And as you start making your way across the bridge, Oviedo flies here, there, and everywhere, to and fro. Vern, you are making your way also to the radio station, to Arthur's radio station. As Brienne asked you, she's attempting to make reconciliation with the prince for missing the Elysium, although it was at all not her fault. And, but of course the prince is the prince, and vain as she is, she needs someone to come and scrape and bow and offer their apologies for missing such an event. So she asked you to gather everyone, tell them what you had learned, and begin the investigation into finding Richard Dunham, which is your top priority. He is missing after all. And you start making your way towards the bridge, and you see someone with a crow, and you see them speaking with the crow. You see the crow obviously squawking at them, and they don't seem at all opposed to the bird being so close to them. What is your impression of what you see? And Celeste, if you would describe yourself for Vern.
Yeah, so Celeste is middling height, brown skin, black hair, petite, wearing a she's changed since the Elysium party into something a little more comfortable. Much like what you see here, a black velvet off the shoulder crop and pants.
Did you say dressed a little bit too briskly for wintertime in Boston?
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. A dead giveaway, Vern.
I think Vern is sizing this one up. Checks the top of her head first. No space buns. Okay, we're good there. Now it's just figuring out if this one is friend or food.
Do you trail her? Or do you make yourself known?
I think Vern will just throw his hood up and put his hands in his pocket and just kind of walk behind her.
Okay, can you make me composure and stealth versus Celeste, wits and awareness?
2.
I also rolled 2.
All right, well, the winner is going to go to the active Kindred. I'm going to allow that to be Celeste in the scene. So, Celeste, you're very aware that someone is following you.
I think with her, who she's been raised by, she's a little too big for her britches. I think she'll stop and just turn around and say, "Can I help you?"
Who are you?
Who's asking?
Anarch or Camarilla?
Okay, do an insight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What are you looking for? What's an insight? What are you looking for specifically?
If he leans one way or the other, if he's being threatening towards one or the other, that kind of thing.
Sure.
5.
He doesn't say Camarilla or Anarch in any particular difference. He maybe is a little bit nicer with Camarilla, but he doesn't seem antagonistic towards Anarchs.
Okay. She'll look him up and down. Camarilla?
Nah, I would have seen you before.
What reason do I have to lie to you?
You want to survive the night?
Yeah, obviously, but I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, well, if you don't need anything else, I have somewhere to be.
I didn't stop you. You stopped.
Are you gonna keep following me?
Yes.
And who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
Don't worry about me. I'm nobody of consequence.
Okay.
Do
Go
you
on.
do you continue walking?
I think she doesn't know this person. She doesn't want to put Arthur out by just leading him to the radio station. So I think she'll start to walk and see. She'll start to walk and make a plan as she's walking.
Arthur, at this moment, you come out of your radio station with Quentin King's voice still in your head, and you almost crash right into two people who look extremely similar to Celeste. There may be a little bit, I'll say more than a little bit. They're definitely much more human looking. They have, they're wrapped up very tightly. They have a nice rose to their cheeks. It's quite cold out here. They're also with another person who looks nothing at all like Celeste. It's a tall man with blonde hair. You crash into the woman, and she speaks with a very heavy South American accent. Not quite sure where to place it, but she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm waiting for my sister. Sorry."
Just me here. Sorry about that. And I'll lock the door behind me.
And as you lock the door and you turn to look, you see Celeste crossing over the bridge, and you see Vern directly behind her in the creepiest way possible.
Have a great night, everybody. And I'll just walk right through the group, up to the people that I do know. And as I approach them, I'll just say loudly so both of them could hear me and go, "Oh, good, you two have already met."
You know him?
Celeste, this is Vern, one of the most astute eyes that I have ever met. Vern, this is Celeste. She's new to the town via the court.
Which one?
Well, that's for her to say, not me.
Who's your sire?
Ezra. The Somber.
The king of love and beauty. Fuck him. Art, you got a parliament I can bum from you?
Parliament, no. Cigarette, yes. And I'll just pull one out. So yeah, I don't know if you've listened to the radio since you've been gone, but the hiring freeze has been lifted exclusively for the Primogen. For now.
Of course.
That's so we don't flood the market.
Yeah, more meat for the grinder, I guess.
Well, it's about reestablishing our place here. We lost so many already. It's either we stay a dwindling city or we pick back up.
Or we learn from our mistakes.
I imagine that's why we're not flooding it.
Celeste, you see Carmen and Carlo sort of waving at you, looking very confused as to why you're not approaching them and why you're talking to these two strange older men.
Arthur, where you headed? You headed back home?
I was, but apparently everybody is not home, so...
Well, I just needed to meet somebody really quick. That's okay.
Oh, are they with you?
Yes. Not with me, just meeting them.
Are you sure she claimed to be your sister?
Of course you did.
And Vern, as you look across, you see these two people very clearly are paternal twins, and if you were a betting man, you'd think that Celeste might be one of their twins. They might be triplets. They look so similar.
It's a special bond people share when they share a womb. You should hurry up. If you're running with Arthur, then that means the three of us have business tonight.
Of course.
You do?
Oh, yeah. Princess has orders.
Wonderful. Well, Celeste, if you want to go have your meeting, I'll get filled in on what exactly it is that we're going to be doing tonight. I'd hate to interrupt a family conversation.
Appreciate it. And I'll just start walking towards them and kind of just roll my eyes a little bit, thinking about Vern.
As you approach, Carmen and Carlos hug you immediately. Of course, they are speaking in Spanish to you. This man who's standing with them, you don't know, but he is very stoic. He doesn't make any indication to stop them or anything. He looks more like a bodyguard, but he doesn't quite have the build of someone who's a bodyguard. And Carlos says, Celeste, are you not coming home? Why are you not coming home for the holidays? I don't understand.
I can't. I have too much to take care of over the holidays.
But you're not in school. Are you working for Mr. Contreras now?
Yes.
So not like you, says Carmen. You're a party girl. What happened?
I had to grow up. I had to hang up my party hat.
You look so pale. Like, I know we're in Boston and it's winter and you don't get any sun, but you can go to the tanning salon.
Haven't had the time.
We have, appearances to keep up when we go home to Pagoda.
I know. And when I go home, I will make sure that it's kept up. But for now, I just can't.
I don't... What should we say to Mama and Papa?
That I'm busy and I wish them the best and that I love them.
You're so cold, Celeste. You used to be so warm, so much fun. You're always the one who would tell us we should go out, we should do things, we should be young and alive. But now you are so cold, you never text us back, you never want to meet us for lunch. I don't understand.
I have a lot going on right now.
And it's at this point the blonde man sort of steps in, and he also speaks to them in Spanish, but with a very strange accent that you don't recognize. And he tells them that they need to get going, that they need to head to Logan Airport and catch their flight. And they both look kind of sorrowfully at you, but they start heading towards where their car is parked. This man turns to you and he holds out his hand and he says, my name is Gabriel Muller.
I'll cautiously take his hand and shake it. Celeste Ortega. Who are you to them?
I am their handler. Assigned by Senor Contreras.
Of course.
I will keep them safe and happy and not asking too many questions like they were just now. I figure you could handle yourself, though.
Appreciate it.
If there's anything that you require, if you need to get in touch with Senor Contreras, as he said, you are banished from his sight at the moment until you prove yourself in some way, shape, or form. You can get a message to me and I will pass it along.
Duly noted.
I am sorry that he is treating you this way. Obviously, I cannot say too much about it. He is my... well, you know.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
But I think that you are capable and stunning, and you will make great things here in Boston.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you have any problems with your cell phone, I'd be more than happy to assist you or provide you new ones.
Oh, yes, that would actually be very helpful.
He hands you a phone. It is older than you. You're fairly certain. It's flips open. It has a very strange, almost yellowy screen to it, and and buttons that are physical buttons that you have to press. Mm-hmm. This should cause a lot less problems for you.
Well,
when you text, you must tap 3 times on the buttons for the letters.
God. Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. I'll be seeing you around, Celeste.
I'll keep an eye out.
As I will for you. And for your bud.
Now I just kind of nod and I'll wave to my siblings before they get in the car.
And they wave back at you, and Gabriel sort of jogs over to the SUV to drive them away. Now, the entire time this conversation was happening, Vern and Arthur on the bridge, this crow that, of course, Arthur, you know, is Olvido, has been sitting with you and looking back and forth to the both of you. Whether you want to have a conversation that doesn't involve Celeste, you're both old enough to know that this bird will definitely know whatever the hell it is that you're talking about.
And that's okay. I was mainly just letting Celeste actually go to the people that are obviously waiting for her, not so much a secret. I will continue to attempt to just pet the bird's head, regardless of whether or not he lets me, as I talk to Vern.
He sort of does this as you try and touch him. Like he's working and you're distracting him.
Yep, if he's going to sit here, I'm going to annoy him. Like, all right, Vern, what exactly do we have going on?
We gotta go get Marius. And if Marius can't do it, then we need to go get Dajan. But I need somebody who can walk back the blood memories.
That's serious.
Yeah. We need to figure out who took Dick from the Red Salon.
I suppose that would be helpful. I didn't think that he was going to be that critical to this. Obviously, the Sabbat wanted him for a reason, but
I'll tell you
now
this
we need to know.
I'll tell you this about Dick. I've never met somebody who could manipulate the blood like Dick Dunham. I mean, he makes the Tremere look bad. Don't tell Marius I said that.
Couldn't dream of it. But that being said, he's still... Well, you've put him to sleep.
For a time.
Till somebody older than him wakes him up.
Or until he heals.
Fair enough. Well, I don't actually know where Marius is, so if you have an idea, we can follow you.
I do, but I promised I wouldn't go uninvited. So if you want to give Marius a call.
I would love to do that. How do you expect me to do that?
I don't know. It's mind fuckery. I don't know what you're up to.
I am not that kind.
I promised I wouldn't go back. Shit.
And I'll just turn to the I'll turn to the crow. It's patronizing to both Vern and Olvido, and just go, would you mind delivering a message to Marius wherever this Tremere might be that we need to find them? Are you that kind of bird?
It squawks at you. You don't have feral whisper, so you don't know what it says.
I do not at all. No, I was not planning on it.
I do. Can I rouse?
Yeah, if you want to activate feral whispers, you have to make I believe it's something an animal can to understand him.
I succeeded on my rouse check.
What's an animal can?
It's and animal.
Because he's not your famulus.
Shit, I love that. I have 2 dice to roll here. So it's hunger all the way, baby.
Yeah.
1 success.
You hear him say Celeste.
I don't like birds.
And he squawks something back at you. And the only thing you hear is a word that you don't think you're familiar with, but he says wanker.
Well, then we'll need a different option to find him.
Are you familiar with Secret Garden?
It was on the radio show that I was doing when you showed up the last time.
Sorry, I was a bit distracted with the prescient smell of the Sabbat in your place.
Oh, that was after the fact.
But, yeah, I think some people who might know where Marius is might hang out there. I can't say anything else.
Well, like I said, pop by the Secret Garden on an as-needed basis. There's an open invitation for care. Sounds like we have a reason to be there.
All right, hit me.
Why?
We got to sell it because I told Marius I wouldn't go back unless it was necessary.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. You got to make it necessary. Cut my hand off or something.
Well, all right. And I've roused for prowess, and I'm just going to go ahead and roll the strength and brawl
Roll a strength and brawl.
plus the prowess.
Are you gonna activate your fortitude, Vern? Activate toughness.
Yeah.
He's a Bruja. You want to.
Well, also not that kind of Bruja.
Yeah, but you got the stuff to back it up. Celeste, you can start making your way back as you're gonna watch Arthur punch Vern right in the face, while Volvito, is cheering him on. That's what you hear.
I got 4 successes.
Okay, so with prowess.
I guess that's 4 superficial before it's halved.
Yes, you didn't activate any toughness. Is that correct?
I did.
You did activate toughness. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's 2, and then it halved again, so just 1.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't even show up. Not even a bruise. Nothing.
Shit.
And
I thought you wanted to make this reasonable.
And Celeste, as you approach from behind, you hear Alvita saying, "Hit him again! Hit him again!"
Yeah, hit him again.
Please. Did you want this reasonable or not?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, then... And I'll
Swing again.
I'll swing again, and this one is a 6 critical, because I got 2 10s.
All right, take 3 points of superficial damage.
Okay. All right. Yep, that was a good one. You just needed a warm up.
I'm not usually a physical kind of person, despite what everybody thinks.
It's a nice splitting of your nose all the way down to your lip.
Yeah, that's good. I can tell by your cufflinks. You're not a physical person.
Power of words, my friend. And I'll turn to Celeste and go, so our dear friend Vern is in need of some physical healing. Fortunately, we know a place if you'd like to come along.
And nothing else going on.
Well, apparently we have this going on, so shall we?
As you all head to the T, as we call the transport station here in Massachusetts, Olvido whispers to you about the conversation that Arthur and Vern were having.
I think she's just listening, walking in silence, and then we'll just kind of suddenly say, "You put the Primogen to sleep?"
Well, he did, not me.
Ah.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, kind of involved. I feel like I should worry about it.
Do you want to get put to sleep?
We're under orders from the Primogen, Vern. This is a full coterie situation. We're a party of 5 now. Well, 4 until Breeny comes back, but 5.
Iverson said to go get him and bring him back by any means necessary. So I did.
And we had the potential of Sabat chasing after him as well, so getting him out of there without argument was going to be key.
And I don't like his smug fucking face.
That's entirely personal.
Got it. And you don't know where he is? Or you do?
Well, we did encounter said Sabat after that. We managed to get away with him, but there was a misstep along the way, and now we don't know where he is.
I see.
That's why we need Marius or Dajon, so that we can figure out who took him.
I'd prefer Marius.
Yeah, well,
Wouldn't we all?
Dajon's not a pushover, but he has wants. If you can just figure out what he wants and make sure he gets it, he'll give you what you want. It's not that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Noted.
Noted. What a bitch. I'll just...
I'm gonna have to
I
make.
just
You've
gotta-
insulted Celeste twice, and I'm gonna have to make a roll for the bird.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, good. Vern, you're at 4 superficial damage. Celeste is behind you. From behind, the bird sort of scrapes at the back of your neck. And this bird is a lot stronger than your average corvid that you would find around the city, and rips out a huge chunk of flesh. 2 more points of superficial damage.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, if you like that bird, keep it close to you.
Noted.
You two are going to have to get along if we're going to do this properly.
And Oviedo says, hit him again.
Just pat under his chin.
Give him another pistachio.
Yeah. Reward the behavior.
He has pieces of Vern's flesh hanging off of his claws.
Oh, we should clean that up, sweetie.
It'll turn to ash pretty quick. Just give it a minute.
Right.
Moving over to Marius at the Secret Garden. Right now, you're inside of the kitchen where the daytime staff makes all of the pastries that Junebug very excitedly sells, or more accurately gives away to the unhoused people who come behind the place to get something hot, something free. But right now the kitchen is cleared out because Junie is taking care of someone that her coterie mate Saris brought in. It's a young woman named Connie, and she is extremely injured. She's been beaten about the face, the arms, and the body, and she's slipping in and out of consciousness. Junie is on the floor with her, and she has wrapped a bunch of cloth, a bunch of thick waiters, like cloth for the wait staff to put napkins out. She's wrapped it around her head to keep the blood contained as much as possible, and she's using her ability of Panacea to heal this person. And you're in the doorway, standing there watching, and I need you to make 2 rouse checks for me for your nightly and for the smell of Junie's blood, and I need to do the same for Saris, who is also there. Oh, 2 successes for Saris. 2 successes. Perfect. So you don't get any hungrier watching Junie do this, but you do look concerned. Junie is very upset, as she would be. This is a human woman. And Saris turns to you and she says, Marius, I know you and I don't get along, for obvious reasons of, let's call it political differences, but I do appreciate that Junie is willing to help when it's needed.
Well, I don't control her. She's a sweetheart, so...
Yeah, it's kind of segues into what I want to talk about. I know that you don't like me. I don't pretend to know why, or I don't pretend to not know why. Pick one. But I wouldn't be in a coterie with Lasher and Junie if I didn't think they were worth standing next to and protecting. The same way that girl needs to be protected. Do you know who she is?
No, please enlighten me.
She's one of the newest, let's call it recruits, for Baron Randall Thane. She didn't pass his test for the Embrace.
Shocker.
Is it?
No, it was sarcasm, but please continue.
Baron Thane didn't used to be like this. He didn't used to be so erratic. I mean, he was never an entirely stable genius, but he wasn't this bad.
And you want me to... what? Appease to his senses, which are clearly there?
I don't want you to do anything, Marius. I just know you will do something. I know the Ivory Tower will do something. I know the Anarchs will do something. The Sword of Cain will do something.
I'm just saying, if you have something, I guess I should say in a less me tone, if there's something you want put in someone's ear, perhaps I'll consider it.
I don't want anything, Marius. I have my hands in lots of places. I have the ears of lots of people. That's not what I need. I guess I just need you to know that if you need an ally, I can be there. I don't I'm technically an anarch, but their feckless incompetence does not endear me to them. The madness and sin of the Sword of Cain doesn't make me want to sign up, and although I hate the Ivory Tower most of all for what they did to my sire, I think that there are some good kindred in there, like you.
Oh, please don't flatter me.
Not really my thing. Look, I know the Ivory Tower will do something, because they always do something, and it's always bad for us, for the Anarchs, of which Junebug and Lasher are a part. Any entity, organization that can take soft hands and turn them into claws and make a stray dog out of a man is evil to its core.
I'm inclined to agree. Junie, how's it looking?
She looks up at you. I think she's going to be okay. I think she's not so bad off that she can't go to a hospital, but I don't know if we should. I don't know if that would be breaking the Masquerade. And Saris holds up her hand. I will take her somewhere where no one will ask any questions. I couldn't take her in that condition. I was afraid she was going to bleed out.
Well, there you have it. I think Saris would have someone or some place we can trust. You clearly need to rest, and I can take care of whatever's left.
Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down upstairs. It takes a lot out of me. I mean, if anything happens, you can come get me. I'll be okay. I'm tough. I'm strong.
Shh, it's okay. We know, but everyone has their limits,
Yeah.
and even we have to rest.
Do you think maybe you could bring back a blood bag for me later?
Oh, of course.
Thanks. And she gives you a kiss. You smell that blood again. She made your rouse check already. She hasn't unwrapped it yet, but she leaves the area. Saris bends down and picks Connie up, who is currently unconscious. And she says, just think about it. If anything happens, I'd appreciate a heads up. And if you need something, get in touch with me.
Now, is this a boon?
No. I met with your other coterie mate, Brienne, and I made a joke about a boon, and she thought I was serious, and it was really funny.
Of course. Well, we're all hungry that way.
Yeah, when you don't have a clan, it's a little less relevant.
I see.
I hope you have a good night, Marius. I really do.
You too. Please stay safe.
I'm gonna stay as safe as I can, but as close to Baron Thane as I can, because if he pops off, Junebug and Lash are gonna be the first to go. And I say that as a fact, not as a threat.
I understand.
She dips out the back, and as she does, you catch out of the corner of your eye Lasher heading out to the front of the... He's wearing like a peacoat, like a woolen peacoat and a scarf. Looks like he's leaving, going somewhere.
Oh, are you leaving? I'm surprised.
Yes, I know. I never leave, but I need. I know you said to stay because like there's something going on in the Ivory Tower, and that someone, they might be looking for me or something like that. But I need to get out. I need to find a new muse, inspiration. I mean, you are my muse, but I need adjacent muses that I can use for my art, and I can't find it here. I've been in every corner of this place, and it's dead to me now.
That is true. That is something I said. But perhaps if we can meet in the middle.
I mean, I like where this is starting.
Oh, good. I think they kind of just wander into the main space, fiddle with whatever music player or Bluetooth to put on some music, and they offer Lasher their hand.
I mean, this is nice. You want to dance?
I mean, I wish to inspire.
All right, let's dance. See if it sparks anything in me for my next sculpture. You can make me a dexterity and performance roll. And he will do the same.
Oh, boy.
Funnily enough, I gave him a specialty in dancing because of his really weird background from being from Borno.
Please crit.
Being from Czechia.
Please.
That's 7 successes.
1 success.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's doing all of the work. He's classically trained in ballroom dancing, and from his mother, and he's doing all of the work. He's leading, he's dipping, he's doing moves that you just can't follow, and you don't know them to begin with, because you don't have that background in training. And it's not too long before he stops the dance altogether, and he says, "No, it's nothing happening. My fun is not getting hard. My fun is going soft, in fact."
Okay. All right.
Is that the wrong phrase? You're making a face. Am I saying it wrong?
No, I'm not making you. You're just so cute.
Thank you.
Rolls her eyes and goes behind.
I need to go into the city. I need to go amongst the people. I need to feel them, smell them, experience them.
I mean, you could smell this, and as casually as finding a pen and writing something down, they take a knife and just carve right into their shirt to their skin to evoke vitae. Mm-hmm. So now they have a crimson top, if you know what I mean.
And it is at this moment, Vern, Celeste, and Arthur, you arrive. Do you arrive from the back where Vern showed you, or do you arrive in the front?
I always come in the back.
I said arrive for a reason.
Yep.
Vern leads you in to the back to the kitchen.
That's where we met Junie.
Yeah, to the back,
alley
to the kitchen. All of you are immediately met with not only the smell of human blood and can see blood on the kitchen floor, but you can smell vitae in the air. For those of you with a little bit more blood, I don't think any of you have the bloodhound merit, but you would smell several different vitaes here, strains of it.
Everybody behave.
And for human blood on the floor, everyone another rouse check, minus Marius, who already rolled for this.
I do not get any hungrier.
Mm-hmm.
I also do not get any hungrier.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
Good. Everyone's keeping control of their beast so far. And you see, you make your way through the kitchen and you come out into the main room. There's no one in here at the moment, as Junie had cleared everyone out so she could heal Connie, not that you know about that. You see Marius and Lasher looking in a very intimate, almost embrace. And Marius has cut their shirt and has bled openly onto their shirt.
Vern will look away.
Kind of look back and forth without saying anything to not give away what's going on before I just kind of hand on both of them and just back into one of the other rooms. Where is the person that we're looking for right now?
What about you, Celeste?
Yeah,
Celeste's I morph into the shadows.
Listen, yeah, I get reminded of Azaria and Ezra, and I'm just other room.
Lasher sort of looks and sees that there's people here, and all then sort of looking awkward.
I mean, we're in and out pretty quick.
Yeah. But he's facing the kitchen, whereas Marius is facing Lasher.
Yep,
He just sort of bends down. He says, "As much as I appreciate your avant-garde display for me, my darling, I believe that you have guests."
What the fuck are you talking about?
I saw that man who was here the first time a couple of weeks ago. That man. You bought you have the clicker for the man.
Yeah,
Very briefly, they're very polite. They all averted their eyes, although I love an audience, really, I do.
I do too, but usually I pick the seats and the tickets and the price of admission.
The
Here I am, a bloody floozy.
I like the one with the what do you call silver fox? Yeah, silver in his hair. I should bring him next time. I like that one. I love an older man.
You be quiet. I love you. Go take care of Junie. I promise once this blows over, maybe we can all go out on the town. Me with better clothes.
Mars, if you could just, like lay down the factual help me, I can't. Why can't I leave? Why don't you tell me what it is the problem? Nobody knows me. Nobody in the Camarilla knows me or wants me for anything. Why would they? I am just an artist.
Look, I would explain, but clearly someone needs me right now.
This conversation is not done, and if I get restless, I can't help what I do.
I know, dear, but just think about me. Think about Junie.
I always think about you, and I always think about Junie, but that is why I need to... I think about you so much, I feel so much for you. That's why I must go out. That's why I must create. I had to get the energy out.
Think of it this way. What's a little restraint for a better release?
That is a promise I am going to hold to you.
Okay. It's already like cupped their face and like kind of shut them up with a little kiss. I'm sorry. And once this blows over, I promise I'll never... I'll do better.
You don't have to do better, Marius. You just have to be truthful with us sometimes. We can't be your secrets in the secret garden forever. I get, it's funny. I like it. I like the pun. It amuses me, but we can't be your secrets forever.
I know. Let me go. And I think
yes,
they kind of like try to cover themselves.
Yeah. Yes, I will. You throw down the shirt, and I'll take care of Junie. I'm sure she is weeping for all of the poor souls in the world tonight.
Until next time.
So very sexy. Then he heads up the stairs. So, the rest of you sort of crammed into different corners of the kitchen area or other parts of the cafe, so you don't have to...
Right back through that door.
So you're all crammed in the kitchen, awkwardly standing in silence, listening to this conversation. Celeste maybe a little bit more in the shadows as they sort of wrap around her instinctively. Olivito on her shoulder.
Just put it on Avery. I'm gonna grab a bag of peas and just put it on Vern's face in the meantime.
Yeah.
I think Vern has to stop himself from this strange impulse to snap at Arthur that comes out of nowhere.
Lasher throws down a blouse, another white blouse, very similar to the one you were wearing. And he says, "Love you."
Love you too. All right, everyone. Come out wherever you are.
Lean out the swing door. Go, are you talking to us?
No, I'm talking to the other.
Oh, okay. I'll shut the door again.
What the fuck is going on?
And I'll open the door for Vern's face. Just go, we need to heal. It's an open invitation, last I heard.
I didn't
We're a little...
want to come. I'm sorry.
And yet... Wow.
I'm
so proud of you.
I need you. We need you.
Okay. Spit it out.
Can you walk back the blood memories?
Marius, make me an intelligence and occult roll, because no, you cannot.
Okay, I was thinking like...
You do not have eyes of the past, but make me an intelligence occult roll, see if you even know what Vern's talking about. Vern, would you like to try and heal any of your damage, or do you actually want to ask for Junie's help?
Yeah, no, he's gonna heal his own damage.
Be careful.
So
silly.
I'm at 5, so I need to make 3 rouse checks to heal it all.
Not the dice spider again. I love the dice spider.
Thank you.
1 success, 2 failures, so going to 4.
For hunger, your hunger spikes as you heal your damage. And the voice of Quentin King in your mind says, "You are such a bad dog. You don't listen to what anyone says, and you don't stand up for yourself. That is not how I raised you, Caval. Take the bird. Start with the bird, and then kill the rest.
I want to.
Hunt. Your king commands it."
4 successes.
4 successes. Yeah, you don't have this particular ritual, but you do know of it. And you do know it is something that DeJohn has done many times before for Iverson for various things. You weren't present for the actual ritual, so you don't know how it is done, but you know of it. And what it is it allows a blood magic wielder to walk back in time, essentially to stand somewhere, someplace in a fairly small area, and to walk back a day, a year, up to 5 years.
Why?
We're hunting. We need to find Dick, and we lost him. So I need somebody to stand where they took him and figure out who it was so I can know who's getting fucked up.
Well, this is not a skill in my wheelhouse, but it is the Primogens.
Okay. But then we need to go get him.
I think I can do something about this.
You sure?
I'm sure as you are here. Celeste, how are you? I'm so sorry they drug you into this, I'm sure.
Evening, Marius. I'm okay. Well, and I kind of look over to Vern. I'm okay.
Okay. Reading that, if we can please, I'll forget this place and return to our side.
You do remember that I made a radio announcement about this a few weeks back, right? This isn't... Everybody knows about this place.
Please don't say that to me ever again. I would really appreciate it.
Not a word.
You ever thought about making this place our side of the line?
I want you to look at me and ask that again.
I know you've thought about it, but like...
When I was young and stupid.
Just saying, it'd be one way to get all your eggs in one basket.
And that's your problem. You're just saying when you should be doing. Let people who know what they're talking about talk. Okay, Vern?
Yeah.
Vern, can you make me 1 wits and awareness before you all head to 200 Clarendon? Then we take our break.
Wits and awareness.
Remember your 4 hunger. You need to feed before we go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm rolling straight hunger dice.
Yeah.
Messy crit for 4.
Mm-hmm. So, messy critical. You're unfortunately, if you were hoping to have a fun talk with DeJohn, you're not going to, because you're going to fall under your clan compulsion. However, successful roll. So you definitely smell Ceres. And compounded on that, spell the perfumer, Diana, as you knew her. And you're definitely going to, without prompting, just going to say her name. And whether you say Diana or Ceres, I'll leave that entirely up to you.
Diana? And you'll start smelling there.
Sorry, who?
Sorry.
We didn't have a Diana in here.
Ceres.
Why is there a connection suddenly?
Child. Mine. Yeah, I think Vern will go into like a full crouch and start like smelling the ground and start like looking underneath.
You smell her.
tables and
You
things.
smell her strongest in the kitchen where the blood was, but it's not her blood.
Where?
We're going. Come on.
Clicker.
Is
Oh.
that is that a clicker?
It is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And Vern is going full VTM bloodlines and is running around on all fours. Right now.
And Olvito says, I like that one. Click, click.
Me too.
And that is where we are going to pause here for our break. Hello, everybody. We're back after our little bio break. The coterie have been tasked with finding Richard Dunham, who, although they found him and Vern punched him into torpor, Vern then summarily got arrested as Arthur and Marius had to flee the scene when the police arrived. And after Vern and Brienne escaped from the morgue and from Delson's prison, Dick is gone. No one knows who took him, and they need him back for obvious reasons outside of just the Masquerade, but the prince wants him. So, they need to talk to Jajan, who is Marius' sire, for a ritual called Eyes of the Past that allows a person who uses blood magic to see the events of the past in a certain area. But first, Vern is very, very hungry, and you're under your clan compulsion currently. So please make me a wits and streetwise. Please remember you're at 4 hunger. See if you see anybody here on the way, leaving Southie heading to the back bay. You should find somebody.
2 successes.
2 successes. Yeah, you do. You find someone, but it is with only 2 successes. It's not someone that you would normally attack. It is an unhoused person sleeping on the ground up against a derelict building.
I think with Vern's compulsion in mind, they can't refuse it.
Mm-hmm.
So they will quite viciously bite into their neck and shake like a dog.
And now, as I've established in many games, but also in this one, if you are at 4 hunger and you don't want to kill them, I need a willpower check, please.
Yikes. Not my greatest pool.
Mm-hmm.
With hunger or without?
Willpower rolls are with no hunger. But you cannot re-roll them.
4 successes.
That's the exact amount that I needed. You may leave him completely anemic at 1 hunger. You do not think that this person has a phone. And they will die. It won't stain you, but how that will make Vern feel is entirely up to you.
Can I rouse to feed them 1 point of my blood?
You may.
Success. I stay at 1.
Feed them your blood. They are out of it. They were already asleep. You smell lots of alcohol on their breath. You taste it in their blood. And they do not wake up, but they do breathe a little bit more easily when you feed them a drop of that blood. And that is a consequence that we will deal with at a later time. As the rest of you make your way to 200 Clarendon, you enter in. You head up to the 15th floor, first of all, for Celeste to go to the salon here, owned by the prince. And Vern, you get out with Celeste, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And Marius and Arthur, or Marius, are you getting out as well to feed at the salon? Now, you've had an issue at the salon before, but would you like to give it a second go?
No.
Okay. Marius and Vern are going to go up a few more floors to head where all the Primogen are, where they have their private offices here, just 1 floor below the princess. As you get out, do you say anything to Arthur? Do you tell him to let you do the talking? Anything of that nature?
No, I think Arthur has a good head on his shoulders.
We're the get shit done duo.
Yeah, you are. You head around the corner. You pass by the office that belongs to, or excuse me, the office that used to belong to Beryl Underwood. His name is still placated there, but of course he is dead. You pass by Hilda McAndrews, the Toreador Primogen's office. And Dejan's is just past hers, right next to Richard Dunham's, in fact, which of course is also empty. His door is slightly ajar. It's not closed. Do you knock? Do you enter in?
There is a polite.
And you hear Dijon's voice. He's speaking to someone. And you hear him end the conversation, and he says, "Yes?"
Sir, if I may.
"Ah, Marius. Yes, please, come in."
And they open the door. They do give enough doorway and space for Arthur behind them.
And as I've described Dijon before, he's rather short. He has a full beard, and he always wears a Tribbley hat and a bow tie. And as he turns and he sees you, he gives you a very broad smile, Arthur. But first he addresses Marius. "My child, how are you this evening?"
I'm well, sir. How are you?
"I'm fine. We did not have anything scheduled, I believe."
I know, and I apologize. I come with a request, if I may.
"Yes, of course. I'm so glad that you brought Mr. Zebulon. It's exactly the man that I wanted to see."
Lucky me.
My coterie needs a ritual, one that I am not versed in. Eyes of the past.
He looks at Arthur. Looks at you. "Well, I do not love this idea of you speaking so openly about the minutiae of our rituals, Marius, but why do you need this?"
It is needed to locate our missing Primogen.
Richard is still missing.
Unfortunately, sir.
Strange. Neither Iverson nor Delson has mentioned it to any of us, at least not to me. I don't like that.
Well, now you know, sir.
Well, yes, Marius, I think I can agree to teach you this ritual. It is not complicated. It just requires a little bit of concentration. However, teaching you this ritual will require a service on your behalf and on yours. And he smiles at you, Arthur.
Is this connected to why you wanted to see me?
In fact, it is.
Well, perfect timing then.
In exchange for teaching you this ritual, Marius, I am going to need Arthur's help, and of course your help, and the rest of your coterie if you feel so inclined to bring them. The two chantries, Hartford and Salem, have agreed finally to make their way here to Boston for negotiations. I just got off the phone with the Salem chantry, who is, as I have learned, decidedly now maturity anarch. And I do know, Arthur, that you have quite a few connections in that particular faction, do you not?
We get along.
And Marius, I want you there. I want you schmoozing. I want you making Boston out to be the glittering jewel that it always should have been and will be again. And I want you to help convince the Salem Chantry to join Hartford and myself in establishing the main chantry here in Boston.
Absolutely, sir.
Mr. Zebulon?
I see no reason why not to. Host duties are a specialty of mine, after all.
I certainly hope you'll make the Camarilla out to be a useful ally and not an enemy of the Salem Chantry.
No, that is what they pay me for.
And who are they exactly? He says rhetorically. Yes, well, Mr. Zebulon, if you will give Marius and I a moment alone.
Absolutely, and don't you fret, Dijon. If anybody can keep a secret, it's the person that knows how to spread the news. I'll wink and walk out the door.
Mm-hmm. As Dijon takes you to teach you the ritual, which is rather simple, you'll come to learn. It just does require a bit of concentration. It requires only you spilling your blood in a certain area. As many drops as you spill is how many years you can go back, up to 5. Arthur, I need to ask. You're alone on the floor where all the Primogen have their offices.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any inclination in you to snoop in anyone's office?
I was about to say, like, I think Arthur pulls out a cigarette and starts to light it in the hallway and then stops as he looks at Richard's office.
Richard's office is closed. Would you?
But it's also the one with the least that is least likely to have people in it at the moment.
Correct.
And it is the most useful for us at the moment.
Correct. Do you have any dots in larceny?
I do not, but that's never stopped me before.
You can make a composure and larceny roll.
I'm going to rouse the blood for that focus. I do not get hungry. 1, 2, 3 successes.
With 3 successes, yeah, you are able to. You have any tools with you? Maybe you have a bobby pin that you keep in your hair when you pin your hair back.
Most likely, it would be a
Nail file,
a credit card or business card, just to work the door jamb itself.
You pop open the door jamb. See, it's completely dark in here. Flick on the lights.
I'll probably use my cell phone flashlight so as to not show too much that there's light in here.
See that the room is completely filled with something you wouldn't expect, and this is out of Swan Song, don't blame me. Completely filled with old computer equipment. Computers of all varying ages, including a set of very, very old ones, like from the 60s, that look like they might have been used at one point to launch a rocket to the moon.
Knowing that if there is anything in here to find, I'm not necessarily going to know it outright. I'm going to hit record on my camera as I have the flashlight on, so that as I pass over things, I'm just going to capture what I see. I am also going to look at things and see if there is anything that jumps out at me.
Absolutely.
But this is not my specialty.
You make me a wits investigation.
2.
Well, you're not really sure what you should be looking for, as you said. You do see other things in here, like lots and lots of books on the human psyche. Differing theories of human psychology, human anatomy. You see lots of books on, old racist things like phrenology. You also see a lot of books about blood, different like blood typing, and old pagan things about blood rituals. You see lots of books like that, and you also very creepily see that there is a section of his office that appears to be a child's bedroom, and in addition to that, a regular bedroom. And you get the impression that if there's anything in here that's of value specifically to Richard, it's probably on one of the many floppy disks that are scattered all over this room.
Most likely. While I'm looking at the books, I'm doing that thing where I just pick up the book and just let my fingers span the pages in case something is loose in them. And then I'm just running the camera over the different floppy disks so that there's names on visible, because again, if there's a name that's important, I'm not going to necessarily know it outright. If I do, wonderful. If not, I have a record.
Certainly, and I will make a note of that.
Putting strange floppy disks into computers typically doesn't go super well.
Yeah, there's like big floppy disks like from the 80s, and then there's sort of small like 3/4 floppies, and there's also like flash drives in here. There's every type of from, as I said, from the last 50 years.
Yeah, there's too many factors when it comes to technology. I've got a couple dots in technology, but it's not my forte, so I'm not going to try to chance whether or not a disk or a drive is going to do what I want it to do versus something I don't want it to do.
How much time do you think you spend in here?
I would probably say you made it sound like it was pretty big of an office.
It is rather large. It is much larger than Dijon's office.
I would probably say I spend 10 to 15 minutes in here on average. If I heard the door to Dijon's office open in that time frame, I would go back to the door, and then once I see that it's just Mario,
you do hear a door open, but you don't see. You're in the room. You do hear a door open. Whether that is that your inclination to leave?
If I hear a door open, I'm going to go back towards the door to this office, unless it sounded like the door to this office opening.
It's not.
And yeah, I'll go back to this, and I'll just kind of like check to see if it is just Marius that's leaving before I come out.
How do you check? Do you crack the door open a little, look out? There's no windows in here.
Well, okay, I was going to say, is this one of the offices that has like the windows on it?
None of the
Okay,
offices
then
have windows.
Then I probably will ever so slightly crack it.
And what you come face to face with is a pair of very large breasts.
Just in front of the door? Can I see who they're attached to without just make
Yep.
myself fully noticed?
Yep, if you look up from them, you see they're attached to Hilda McAndrews, the Toreador Primogen.
Very calmly, as if I am doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Yep. Hilda.
Mr. Zebulon.
Wonderful to see. Wonderful to see. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm not snooping around in someone else's office.
Well, surely you've heard on the news that Richard is missing. We do have to do all necessary diligence in order to figure out where he might be.
And why were you doing it in the dark then?
Because, frankly, I don't like to be disturbed when I work.
Is that so?
Yes.
Well, Richard hasn't been back in this office for many months, not since the attack happened. So I don't know what you expect to find in there.
Perhaps mention a record of secretive locations, information that those members of the Sabbat possibly wanted to get out of him, any number of things that might give us a hint as to why exactly he was taken and where we could find him. This is, in fact, our job.
You are a very good talker, Mr. Zebulon. I am surprised that a Toreador didn't snatch you up.
Just count me lucky.
I count you many things. I'm not sure if lucky is among them. I suppose in the coming nights we will find out.
I suppose so. I've had a bit of a knack for it, I will say. Were you going to do the same thing I was doing? If so, I'm happy to tell you what I found so far.
Oh no. I was just heading up to see the prince.
Wonderful. Well, when you do see the prince, do let her know that my coterie is still looking into finding Richard. After he was taken, we can't have him out in the world.
Oh, don't worry, Mr. Zebulon. I'll be giving a full report to the prince of everything I have witnessed this evening.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
You as well.
And her heels click down the marble hallway.
I'll come back out, close the door, and then I will continue lighting my signal. That I was waiting.
Marius exits at that moment, and Marius, you see Hilda McAndrews walking away. And you can also add Eyes of the Past to your sheet, by the way.
Incredible. And as long as she doesn't speak to me, I don't speak to her.
No.
Funny how that works. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't expect to have a lesson, but we are complete.
Not to worry. You have to find out what you have to find out.
Because, of course, our Primogen is too busy to just perform a ritual for us. Just like under his breath as they're walking and talking.
Well, it's probably better if we keep our hands on things at this point.
True. I'm sorry to rope you in.
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, it gave me an opportunity while you were trying to find your Tremere ways of finding him. I was doing regular detective work, and I'll just point back at his office.
Oh, good thinking. I don't know what you would have found in there, given his vacancy, but
A lot of files. Perhaps they mean something to somebody else besides me, but I'm wondering again if there's any deeper reason why he has gone missing beyond just who he is. Clearly, Miss McAndrews disagrees with my methods of investigation, but we do have a job to do, and I think that we can justify it well.
well said.
Downstairs a few floors in the Prince's Salon. Celeste, you're there with Vern, who's right behind you. Your bird is on your shoulder. And here there are many men and women, people of varying types, in masks, in red velvet, and they are all sort of lounging around, waiting for someone to take their fill. There's also a bar here. It's in the middle of the room, a rectangular bar with someone behind it who's not wearing a mask.
I think Celeste is going to just walk in like she's supposed to be there, full confidence, and just go find...
There's no reason why you shouldn't be. You are a member of the Camarilla.
And yeah, she's just going to go find preferably a woman to just have a little snack on.
See one of the women sitting, all the women have their hair pulled back in a tight bun, and she's lounging, and all of them, of course, Vern, you know this, all of them sort of sit up at attention when a kindred comes into the room. They're very excited about it, addicted to the bite. And she looks up and she says, "Can I service you?"
Yes, you can.
And she takes your hand and leads you to one of the many veiled rooms here. Vern, how close are you and where are you gonna be while this is happening?
Vern is, if nobody stops him, Vern's going in.
That is up to Celeste to stop you. Because the ghoul is, or the blood doll's gonna look at this as like, oh my god, 2 for the price of 1. Amazing.
Celeste has nothing to hide. Well, right now, at least not this.
So you allow Vern to come into the room with you?
Yeah.
It's a plush room. Again, everything, the prince seems to really be into red velvet. Everything is red and gold. And the blood doll sits down on the couch. Do you want me here or do you want me in your lap or?
Here's fine.
She sits down and sort of, her arms are exposed, her legs are exposed, her neck is completely exposed, and she sort of just looks at herself waiting for you to pick a piece of her.
Yeah, I'll take her hand and bite in her wrist.
Just her wrist? All right. And you just take one?
Just one.
She looks very disappointed that the drink is so short. And she says, is your friend going to drink too? That was, it was nice. It was great. But it wasn't very long.
I don't know. And I'll look for it. Is my friend going to drink tonight?
No.
She looks very disappointed.
Sorry, sweetie.
You'll come back though, right?
Of course, I'll come back for you.
Really? If you can petition to have me as a ghoul, just so you know, not everyone knows that.
I'll bear that in mind.
Okay. And she leaves the room.
And I'll just sit there, and just kind of talking to Olvido, like squawking at him, and looking over at Vern as if we're talking about him. We're not.
Yeah, Olvido is asking you like, can you buy walnuts? I really like pistachios, but walnuts would be really great.
I could see. Maybe they have something at the bar? Probably not. We could see.
I don't want peanuts.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I don't like pretzels either.
God, you're picky.
How old?
It's not polite to ask a woman her age,
Don't care.
$20.
Really?
What reason do I have to lie about that?
Kindred. Lie.
Silly to lie about. Clearly not old enough to be older than you.
Where from?
Well, I would say local, but that's already been... whatever. Columbia.
Why you here?
Why are you asking so many questions?
And Olvido says, hit him.
Maybe later. I'll pet him.
Yes, later. Good.
Want to know.
I'm here because my sire wanted me to be here. Serving this court.
What Contreras want? Everything.
Girl's gotta keep some things to herself.
Fine.
I would ask you some questions, but you don't seem very talkative. Well, I mean, seem very... Yeah.
You are someone who Ezra has trained relentlessly, tirelessly. You can roll me intelligence and occult.
Do I have dots in that? Actually, no, I don't. Just kidding.
Lyda's like, I'm not playing an occult character this time. Yippee!
1.
Yeah, he didn't. But, you know, Ezra's a little Somber. He definitely wasn't schooling you about the Low Clan's gangrel.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
as far as you're aware, you don't even know what clan Fern is.
True. Yeah, Celeste just gives him a look like, yeah, you don't seem very talkative right now, so, I'm gonna go. You gonna follow me?
Yes.
Of course you are.
Azaria here too.
Azaria is our new Smitsi Primogen.
Vern will growl.
You don't like Azaria?
Bad memory.
You and me both. And I'll get up and walk out.
As you walk out, you cross paths with Marius and Arthur, who are coming out of the elevator, and I'm sure Marius doesn't want to get too close to the to the salon here.
Oh, good, you're here, and I'll just cross over to them.
Yes, we can go ahead and get this started. I was taught the required ritual.
I'm sure that was a fun lesson.
Oh,
I learned that
always.
Richard has a deep love for computer parts, so it's a good thing that I went up as opposed to you.
Probably for the best. Shall we?
Of course.
Vern, where are we going?
Red Salon.
Wait. You didn't keep the body.
Well, if he was arrested, I imagine he probably didn't get the opportunity.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So I guess we're going back. Wonderful.
I'm a little surprised that Brienne and Richard didn't wind up in the same morgue, though. That's the part that really intrigues me. Because as far as anybody there was concerned, there were 2 bodies in the street along with Vern. Well, more, but 2.
And Vern will look to Celeste for a minute and look back to Arthur. Contreras.
Oh, good. You 2 have gotten to know each other then.
Intimately.
I'll allow you to drop your compulsion as all of you leave 200 Clarendon. We move the scene to getting to the Red Salon.
Vern will stand up and get off all fours and kind of shake his shoulders out. Ezra got Bree out of the morgue.
Well, that's good.
It stands to reason Ezra might have taken Dick.
If Ezra took him, I would hope that we would have been informed as opposed to having me make announcements that he was missing.
You would hope.
I think we said that at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd hate for this fancy new ritual that Marius had to bargain for just to go to waste. So how about we confirm it with some Tremere speciality before we go barging in on your dad?
Yes.
That'd be preferable.
all of you make your way to the Red Salon. This is on Washington Street. Of course, you've all been here. You were here not that long ago. The Queen's Cellar is open tonight, but of course, you know Bree is not there. She is with the Prince in Seaport at Shufang's Club. And doing her bowing and scraping and all the other things that you have to do when you're in the Camarilla. And you go there, and of course it is as it was before. There is still some police tape up here from when it was a crime scene. It's still decimated and destroyed. And of course, Celeste, you don't know what this place was. But it appears to be some destroyed building of some kind. And Marius, if you'd like to perform your ritual for us, and you can tell me how many dots in blood you'd like to spend. If you'd like to go all 5, you will learn something. If you'd like to go just 1, you will also learn something. Depends on how much you want to do.
I mean, let's go crazy, go stupid.
Okay, so you make me 1 rouse check and intelligence and blood sorcery, please.
And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Perfect. That's a perfect amount of successes. More than I needed. So all of you watch Marius take off one of their gloves. I assume you have an athame or some sort of ritualistic knife you use in rituals. Mm-hmm. And slice open their palm. Yep. And make a fist, and hold it out over the dirt, and pour. And now here's where the concentration comes in, where you have to control the flow of the blood. You pour 1 drop first. That rewinds time, and you watch time around you rewind, and you really need to concentrate and try and parse out what you're seeing, and you're just seeing it in the small area that you're standing. And the scene that unfolds before you eventually is a scene, of course, that you recognize. You see yourself in this scene from a few weeks ago. You see yourself on the floor, paralyzed after that thin blood bullshit bomb was thrown at you guys, and you see Arthur lifting you up and running away with you, and you leave the scene so you don't see yourself anymore. You see Vern getting arrested by the police, handcuffed, and you see him screaming at Brienne, begging her to tell him to bite, tell him what to do. He doesn't know what to do. What is he supposed to do? And the police drag him away. It takes multiple officers to get him into the car, and of course Bree can't respond because she was just as you were, paralyzed. And next to her is Richard's body. Now, you see EMTs and crime scene investigators pass through the scene. You see Bree's body get taken out and into the first ambulance that arrived. They only called 1 ambulance. They need another one for the second body. And I need a wits and awareness from you, Marius. I need to see if you remember this person.
Oh boy, I'm terrified. I think...
It's real important that you remember who this is.
Yeah, I'm gonna blood buff.
Yeah. Yes, 4 successes. You see someone walk into the scene, in your mind, obviously, as it's playing out in front of you. It's a woman with sort of mousy brown hair. She's wearing a trench coat, and she looks very plain, but you recognize her immediately. You met her before at the Park Street station. Her name is Detective Sarah Milton. You told her you were a crime scene investigator. And she bends down and looks at the body, and she unzips it. And you watch her very gingerly take her fingers, she's wearing gloves, to investigate the scene, and she lifts up Richard's lip, his top lip, and she sees the fangs. She sort of shudders, lets his lip drop back down. One of the EMTs behind her says, Detective Milton, we have another ambulance coming. It's going to be a minute. There's an accident over on the 128, and she immediately shuts this EMT down. She's like, no, it's fine. I'll take this personally. He's long dead. I will take this personally to the morgue. Don't worry about it. I'll file the extra paperwork. Just get the other body to the morgue. And the EMT looks a little confused, like maybe they shouldn't, but she really puts her foot down, and they agree to it. And you watch her zip the body bag back up, carry it. It's heavy. It's hard for her to carry, but she manages it. And she leaves the scene with the body. Now the question is do you want to go back more?
I mean, we're fucking around, I guess so.
Yeah. So all of you watch Marius drip more blood. second drop, a third drop, a fourth drop, and a fifth drop. None of you know exactly how this ritual works. And all of you, a rouse check, please. Now that we've done 5 drops. Vern, you get that hunger back up, baby.
Success.
Uh-huh. Success.
Okay.
Vern gets a little bit hungrier. Okay. So you're going to turn the dial back all the way to 2019. Now, 2019 was a very dangerous year here in Boston because that was the year that the Second Inquisition attacked. However, what you see, and it's very strange, you watch the Red Salon rebuild itself right in front of you. No longer destroyed. You're going back before the Second Inquisition attacked. And what you see is a very strange sight. You see your sire. You see Prince Iverson. You see Richard Dunham. You see Hilda McAndrews and Beryl Underwood, Brianne's sire. You see them all gathered here at the Red Salon. You see another person too. It's a woman with very deformed face, almost like boils or goiters all over her face. And they're all standing outside of the Red Salon. And they're speaking in rapid tones, and they're talking. They're saying, yes, the last one is taken care of. Richard's serum worked, and they won't be a problem anymore. Now all we need to do is just cut the head off the snake. And Richard immediately begins arguing with the rest and saying, no, we won't cut it off. I need it. What we can do with it, what we can make the circulatory system something incredible, something that no one has ever seen. I need it. He cannot be killed. I need him. And then you see Vern exit out of a car and walk into the scene, and he's carrying someone over his shoulder. He's crying. His eyes are completely rimmed in red, and blood tears have streamed down his face all over his clothes, but he's carrying the body of someone you don't recognize. And he walks right up to Jara, to this woman, the boils, and puts it down at her feet, and he's crying, and he says, he won't ever please tell me that she'll forgive me. Tell me that he'll forgive me, please. I never wanted to do this. Why did you make me do this? He's going to come back for me. He's going to hurt me. And this woman sort of puts her hands over Vern's face and in his hair and tells him that he's very good and he did the right thing, and soon he won't remember any of this, and that she'll take the memories away from him. And he gets very emphatic about it and starts shaking his head. He's like, please, I don't want to remember this. Take it away from me. I betrayed my king. And that is as far back as you can see as all of them enter into the Red Salon with this body down into the basement.
Well, I'm going to keep that to myself.
Hopefully not the one about the detective.
Yeah, that's say their name flat out as soon as they're like in the presence of everyone else.
I imagine everyone was standing around watching Marius do this.
Pretty much. I'm sorry, who?
A detective in the subway I encountered before. It seems we have a crooked cop, but who is surprised?
I'm less worried about a crooked cop and more worried about a general police person having a body of a old kindred.
Yes. It is very concerning. I just don't know where. I don't know if we need to go to the police station or find her place of residence, or it's a start.
Now, Arthur has contacts. He could certainly, I believe Burns also does. So I believe you could, yes. Marius, do you? Or do you not? Do you not have contacts in the Anarchs? I'm remembering that wrong.
No, I don't.
Okay.
As a point of order, I have allies, not contacts.
Ah, okay. So it's just Arthur. How many dots of contacts do you have?
3.
Okay. Make me a wits and your contacts roll, and see if any of your contacts know who this is. And the name is Detective Sarah Milton.
Right. So just wits and contacts, not like wits plus something plus contacts?
Yeah, let's do wits and streetwise.
Okay. That changes things a good bit.
I don't need many successes for that.
Is 4 enough? I can willpower if not.
4 is enough. I needed 3. So,
all right.
You get a hold of Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sort of an up-and-coming, let's say, drug dealer. And she knows she always knows a guy who knows a guy. She quickly picks up the phone, and she says, "Yo, Arthur, what's going on?"
Maddie, how are you doing today?
You know, I'm wheeling and dealing, living the dream.
Wonderful. Say, Maddie, you're always someone who knows a guy who knows a guy. I was wondering if perhaps you know somebody or know someone who knows this person.
Sure, what's the name?
Well, the player just completely forgotten the name.
Sarah
detective.
Milton.
So detective, actually, so probably not someone you'd want to associate with too directly, but detective by the name of Sarah Milton.
Huh. I do. She obviously doesn't run in my circles or any of my people's circles, but when my uncle croaked, they said it was foul play, whatever that means, and she was the lead detective on his case.
Excellent. Did you happen to gain information or gain eyes on her after that? We're trying to locate her a little bit discreetly.
Yeah, give me 1 second. You can hear her put the phone down. You hear her typing on something. Just gets back.
Hold a finger up to the group. Just.
Yeah, it looks like she lives over in the Back Bay. That's a fancy place for a homicide detective.
I would not argue that. Could you shoot me the address?
Sure thing. She texted
Thank
to you.
you so much, Maddie.
Yeah, you know, next time Forrest needs weed, tell him no.
I will pass along the message.
He owes me way too much money.
Understandable, Maddie. We'll see what we can do about that.
See ya.
Bye now. And I'll relay the address in the Back Bay to the group. Seems to be her private residence. It's quite upper crust for a detective salary, I have to say.
Perfect. I guess.
Marius, can I ask a favor?
Perhaps.
Do you have enough juice to do the ritual again?
Why?
I have to know who's in that sarcophagus.
What are we doing now?
Sarcophagus in the basement. I need to know who is inside. I have to know. I have to know for sure. I mean, I know. I have
Calm
to know
down.
for sure. I have to know for sure.
I'll do it for a boon.
Fine.
Perfect.
Now, Marius, you don't
detour.
actually have to make that roll unless you actually want to risk more blood, because I think you are intelligent enough to know who was in that sarcophagus. You can pretend if you'd like.
Yeah, how can I roll to fake it?
Well, if you're gonna fake it, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to make a rouse check at the very least. You won't have to make a roll and risk maybe a messy critical.
Alright. That's a good.
Okay, so you're still at 3 hunger. So you head down to the basement, and you just go down there. Vern's standing there watching you. You drip a little bit of blood, and you go like, you sort of just like, pretend, act, zen it out. Yeah, you're like, wait, let me, and then you come back to yourself, and you could say whatever it is that you'd like to say. Yeah, yeah, you could sort of like, Vulcan.
I think you remember. Or don't you?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
Is that
It's
him?
hard. Yes.
Is he back?
He shouldn't be.
If he's back, you're all dead. You just don't know it yet.
I
Well,
think
if he's
you've said
back,
enough for the
then
night.
if he's back, then he's quite the talkative one.
He's been talking to you. You two? You've heard him?
The other night when we were over here,
It's happening again. It's happening again. He's gonna gather the knights. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Celeste, if you'd like. I will let you attempt to use Cloud Memory on Vern to keep him calm. Make him forget the last few minutes.
Sorry, I thought I wasn't. Yes, that's so messy. Absolutely.
Okay. That's charisma and dominate versus intelligence and resolve.
Okay, but how much is he gonna forget? Because if he forgets my boon, I'm gonna be upset.
He might.
Oh,
Me and
the
Celeste might
last
not
5
be friends
minutes.
after this.
Yeah, I think it's 10 minutes. His last 10 minutes. Let's see how good. If Celeste rolls real good, I'll let Vern remember the boon, and then you can take that cue to lie to Vern if you like, as you see him spiraling out.
I'm gonna blood surge for this.
Intelligence and
Throwing
resolve.
dice.
Vern.
All right, I succeeded on that.
Yeah.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 2, 2.
You got it, boo. I believe in you. What'd you do, Vern?
You shouldn't. I'm gonna willpower reroll.
I've got a 1 with a bestial hanging.
Oh, sick.
Where? I already declared it. I got 2. Well,
Okay, so you walk up to Vern. What do you say? It'll only be a short sort of indication to forget. You can say, for example, forget everything except the boon.
yeah, sure. Let's do that. Like, just forget everything but the boon. Pat.
And Vern, increase your hunger.
And I think it is of merit that as soon as Celeste's hand touches his hair, immediately, like a very well-trained animal, his eyes immediately flick to hers. It's an unconscious conditioning for that direct eye contact, and his head lolls into her hand, and he becomes extremely pliable with just the touch to the hair.
Kind of cradling his head. I'll look back at Marius. I can see why you have the clicker now.
It's a shame.
One of these days, I'm going to have to learn how to do that from somebody.
I'll pull away.
We should go get this cop.
Yeah.
We have to get Dick back.
I can't help but stress that this is a higher economic area of the town, so we're going to want to approach it a little bit more on the level before we start doing things that might look a little shady. They tend to notice those things.
I can be a dog.
So what are you going to do beyond that?
Get into her house.
I might be able to bring her out to, say, the backyard.
Or in the back, so it's going to be an apartment.
Yes. The back, whatever. The back away from prying eyes. Oviedo here can give commands through me. Or I can give commands through him, rather.
Well, whatever we think is the best approach to get what we need. We're hoping and assuming that this detective still has his body versus handing it off to someone else.
They probably definitely handed him off to someone else.
All right, so y'all make your way to the back bay. It's not far from Washington Street. And it is a very ritzy-ditzy, nice place. This place has a doorman, for example. So you approach the front. Now, Vern, are you going to be a dog? Or are you going to be yourself? Now, you see a doorman, so you don't know their pet policy here at this building. But
Vern, on their way there, will very ashamedly reach into his jacket and pull out a chain lead and a spiked collar and hand it to Marius. And then shape change.
Mr. Bear, cross check, please.
Hey, I'm back at 4. We're back in the building, baby. We're back.
And as
in the building.
your body shifts down and changes and the bones crack, of course, Quentin King's voice in your mind. That's right. That's the form I like you in. Good boy, Caval. Let's get something to eat.
Yeah. And Vern takes the shape of a large, clipped-eared black mastiff.
Nice of you to have that on hand. And just like starts adjusting it so it's like not too tight, the little standard and everything.
So,
Perfect.
who would like to speak to the doorman? I can think of one good person to speak to the doorman.
Yeah. No, I'll walk up to him and I'll just use mesmerize. I'll say, let us in.
Absolutely. And he is an immortal who can't resist against it. And you just say, let us in. And this is nice, Amarius and Arthur. She walks up, she says, let him in, pats him on the face, and she walks right in. He holds the door open for her.
Gonna like lean a little back to Arthur. She's scary.
Well, we know who her dad is, so.
True, I keep forgetting those faces.
So he, as you head in, there's also a person who runs the elevator. This is like a very old-fashioned building. And he looks, he sees that the doorman lets you in, and he says, which floor? We don't typically allow dogs in here, but obviously the doorman saw you, so they'll let you in. What floor would you be going to?
Turning on awe automatically to distract him from the dog. I will
Immediately looks at you.
Yeah, I'll give the information of like what floor I was told for what apartment she's in. Very genially about it.
Oh, yeah, of course. Please. And it's an old-fashioned elevator where he has to, close it and lock it, the big gate on it. And you have a few minutes in here, and he's just staring at you, Arthur, with awe on. Of course, Marius and Celeste and the dog are also looking at Arthur because he is on.
I'm going to be just talking to him about like his job at how the old-fashioned elevators are, etc. I'm just getting him to talk to me and just don't think about whether or not a dog is supposed to be here.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a great job. I mean, who would have thought, as having a job like this, or that even anything like this is possible? This is only for, like, I don't know, going to work at Disney World or something, that ride. I can't remember what it's called, the Haunted Mansion ride or something like that. This is great. It pays nice.
Well, hopefully it's a better elevator ride than that one, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can't afford to go to Disney World, but yeah. Yeah, it's a great job. It's absolutely great. I mean, you look very put together. You look very nice. You must have a great job, too.
Thank you. I do. I work in radio.
That's so cool.
Thank you very much. It really is fascinating just how much the city likes to hold on to its history so that you can have jobs like this.
Huh, I never really thought of it like that. That's crazy. Yeah. So you get to Marius and Celeste are like eye roll, but also can't take their eyes off of Arthur, annoyingly, and are fully aware of it as well. You get to...
Can't take your eyes off of Arthur. Even if you did look away, his voice has that drawback.
Yeah, his voice has Melpomene
quality to it.
It's so annoying. You get to Sarah's floor, and he says, "Guess of Detective Milton. She's just around the corner."
Thank you so very much. You have a great rest of your night.
You too, man. You too. Thanks, everybody. That's the most pleasant elevator ride of my night.
Glad to hear it, and we'll immediately drop all and walk away.
Follow.
So, you head to her door. Now, what's the procedure?
Now, Marius, if I remember correctly, you said that you have some experience with this detective?
Unfortunately.
So, of all of us, you might be the one that she would be the least confused about to see.
And just frustrated that he's right, just shoves the leash into his chest and knocks on the door.
I'll gesture to Celeste and then say, "Come on, boy," to Vern as we walk a bit down the hall.
You knock on the door, and nobody answers. You knock again. You ring the doorbell. Nobody answers. You press up against the door. Doesn't sound like there's a single sound coming from the inside this apartment.
Is the door locked? Can I just like try to?
Well, you do have a couple of people in this coterie with prowess who could just break it.
I could.
Or you could just have
But
Celeste
there-
pop back down, take another elevator ride, and be like, give me the key.
No.
I mean, Celeste with
Yeah,
no
I will.
tact, give me the key. I love it.
Vern will
A
just
little somber way.
Yeah.
Vern will just woof.
Yeah.
And, like look towards the door.
No. Arthur, do you have any, perhaps, physical prowess that we can use?
I could certainly give it a go.
Do we want to look like we're blatantly breaking and entering? Because I can get in quietly without breaking anything. It's just, it's up to y'all.
Please,
Well, if you
your
can.
wonders show no bounds.
Okay. Sure thing.
What is it that you're doing, Celeste? So I know.
Larceny?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, you do have dots and larceny. Look at you.
I am.
Yeah,
just
wits and
a
larceny,
little
please.
guy.
Wits and larceny,
Yeah.
please. Look at you. Dots and larceny.
little guy.
Luna. Dots and larceny?
Luna's not playing an occult character this time.
My
buddy.
sweet baby Luna?
I got criminal. I got a willpower reroll.
Listen, sometimes the party girl's gotta break
Yeah.
in.
I mean, party girls got to be able to think on their feet.
Exactly. I got 3 successes.
That's enough. You pull out bobby pin, a nail file. You start working your way in there like you've done this before. Everyone watches you do this. And eventually you turn it in enough ways and the lock pops.
Voila.
You had quite the life before your embrace.
Oh, you have no idea. And I just, I'll turn the handle. Okay.
Flick on the lights, I assume.
I won't touch the light switch.
Well, if you are expecting, oh, you won't touch the lights. Well, it's a mechanical light. It's not it's not electronic. You're not gonna bust it open. If you were expecting the apartment to look as grandiose as the building that Sarah lives in, you'd be completely incorrect. This place looks like a pigsty that a conspiracy theorist with many tinfoil hats lives in. Immediately, you're hit with lots of items about the supernatural, doodles of various blood sigils that Marius would recognize as wards against Kindred and wards against lupines, taped to random surfaces of this place. However, they're doodled in crayon or colored pencil. They're not doodled in actual blood. You see vials of holy water, wolfsbane extract, books on witchcraft, books on necromancy, even a jar labeled fairy dust with a post-it note on it and a question mark. On random surfaces around the apartment are other sticky notes that all say the same thing. They are real, and he is not crazy. At the far end of her apartment seems to be a board with a bunch of locations and names on it. What are we investigating? I'm going to start with, well, I would start with Vern, but he's a dog. Are you going to stay a dog?
No, once we're in the apartment. Oh.
Then I will start with Vern. What are you looking at first? What draws your attention first?
Honestly, nothing he's seen yet. He's looking for a bedroom. You can tell everything. He can tell everything he needs to know about a person from where they sleep.
So you're heading into the bedroom. Celeste?
Oh, are there signs of struggle? Or is it
that
just
is an extremely
disturbing?
hard thing to tell. I'd let you
Right.
make a wits investigation because this place is a sty.
Got it.
Arthur.
Drawn to the large board, but on the way from the front door to the board, the sheer array of things is of interest to me, and I'm just looking to see if any of this stuff appears to be weaponized, because everything about this screams hunter that has no idea what they're doing. I'm basically just looking for like, are there stakes? Are there like spray bottles next to all this like wolfsbane and whatnot? Are you know, all these materials, have they been put into some form that's meant to be used against people?
Well, let's do another wits investigation for you. What about you, Marius?
I think that book with some names has my interest.
Book of names. We had books on witchcraft, books of necromancy, jar of fairy dust, vials of holy water, wolfsbane extract, doodles of blood sigils. We have a board with names, if that's what you mean.
The board. I'm so sorry.
Board of
That's
names.
where
So
I was
you're going
heading.
with Arthur as well. So wits investigation on that as well.
3 successes for me.
Okay. We'll get right back to you. Vern, you head into the bedroom. The bedroom is maybe the cleanest part of this apartment. And it seems that everything that was personal to Detective Milton has been moved into the bedroom. The main living space is completely overturned with this obsession with the supernatural. But her bedroom seems clean and neat. There doesn't seem to be any sign of a struggle. There's no blood in here that you can tell. It doesn't seem to be anything of significance. You definitely don't smell any kindred vitae, anything, any rot, anything like that.
So, any bedside tables, he starts to do things like scent the sheets to figure out if she's been somewhere where he recognizes the smell. Getting into the closet, looking at her clothes, looking for, cops have business cards now. That's a new thing that he learned this week.
Sure. Make me a wits and awareness. Celeste. What was your roll?
4 successes.
4 successes. You don't think so. You don't think so, but you're not. Nothing is overturned. There's nothing broken that you can tell. You don't think so. Arthur and Marius, what were your rolls? 3 for Arthur and 5 for Marius. Yes. Arthur, as you walk over to the board, the first thing that catches your eye, and with only 3 successes, it's enough, is the list of names on the side of this board. There's 12 names altogether. Some of them are crossed out, some of them aren't. Some of them are crossed out, but then scribbled over, and there's question marks. In addition to that, on one side is also a map. You recognize the names. These are the names of King Arthur's childer, all named for random knights from Arthurian legend. They're all listed here. And some of them have corresponding places in the city of Boston. Marius, you see the same thing. With 5 successes, I'll allow you to, again, with your intelligence, you recognize these names as Arthurian knights. Now, you've heard enough times now, both from Dijon, both from Vern, that Quentin King believed himself to be King Arthur, the King Arthur of legend. He believed that about himself. And you would deduce that these knights have something to do with him, whether they were compatriots of his or childer of his. You would deduce that immediately. Now, the locations that she has written on here is the Old State House, Howe's Neck, which is way far away in Quincy, Fort Independence, or the Castle, and the Boston Common, which, of course, you have passed by twice tonight.
Pictures of everything on the board. Even the things that I don't immediately notice. It's just habit at this point.
What was your wits and awareness, Vern?
Messy crit +1 for 5.
Are you at 4 hunger?
I am at 4 hunger.
Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put you under your compulsion again. Actually, no. Let's scratch that. You are furious, and you're trying to figure out where Richard is. You want to know so badly, because so many pieces of your past are missing, as you have discovered. And you start tearing through her things. You're going to make it very obvious that someone was here. You're tearing through her clothes, tearing through her drawers. But you did roll a critical. She will know that someone was here. But you do find a day planner. She seems to not have anything electronic in here. Not a cell phone that you can see, not a computer that you can see. She seems to be very paranoid. But she does have a day planner she wrote down. And she has written down tonight she is traveling to Howe's Neck, which is in Quincy.
Vern will slip it in his jacket. And then... Are there any pictures of her with any family in here?
Yes, many.
Kids?
No.
Husband? Partner?
None that you can see. They seem to all be older pictures of her when she seemed to be younger. You do remember seeing her at Park Street Station. You don't see any rings sitting in the dish in the bathroom. You don't see anything that indicates that she's married.
Is there more than one scent on the sheets?
No.
He'll come out in the main room with the planner and page open to where she is tonight, hand it over to Marius.
Marius, as you look at it and you see it says Howe's Neck, which you've only heard of, you also notice on the day planner it has written the times of the low tide and the high tide.
Interesting. Well, I would hate to be drastic on my own, but this place needs to be cleansed, destroyed. It's a masquerade breach.
Call Delson, then it's his job. Make that fat fuck do something for once.
I do actually agree with that. I would hate to scrub things prematurely.
Oh, would be a shame if a fire broke.
Delson will handle it when he's
Unproperly
done.
killed.
Delson will handle it when he's done.
Perfect.
Vern, do you take a look at the board?
Yeah.
You see all the names of Arthur's childer.
She's hunting the king's children.
Seems to be. And with that little bit in that book there, it looks like one of them might be
What name
Underwater?
corresponds with Hal's neck?
With Howe's Neck is Lancelot.
We need to get to her before they kill her. If she finds Lancelot, she'll die. No question.
Could my
Well.
two oldest kindred, it's harder for you, Vern, because your brain is missing things. Two oldest kindred, could you roll me intelligence and politics, or wits and politics, whichever is higher for you? You,
I love that I'm not that old, but I'm still one of the older ones.
you are one of the older. Well, you are one of the older ones. You've been around the most. You and Vern are
True. 2 successes.
contemporaries. Two.
I'm rolling all hunger dice. I got another messy crit.
I'm gonna have to put you under compulsion this time, unfortunately. Where you're gonna be only speaking short phrases till the scene ends. Vern, Arthur, you can't even remember the face of any of the child. You knew his favorite child of the knights. Mordred was his favorite, and his last. But you can't remember what on earth happened to them. Like you were fed the propaganda like everyone else that Quentin went off to the beckoning and his childer followed. But obviously something is wrong with this line of propaganda. Something is not true. If it's not Quentin King in the Red Salon in the Iron Maiden, and if it's not his childer being, I mean, why would his childer be at Fort Independence? It's a museum. It's a tourist attraction. Why would he be there? Who put him there? These things, but you can't quite wrap your head around like what the connecting pieces are here. What was your role? One more time, Vern.
It's a messy critical.
Messy
So far.
critical. Yeah. You were also fed all the lines that Quentin went off to the beckoning, but something itches in the back of your mind that this is not correct, that no, something happened. You see flashes, quick flashes of you with a stake in your hand, and then it stops. Something is wrong.
He's using her to gather them. He's somewhere. He's started. And to remind, he's back. I knew it.
let's entertain that for a moment. If he's trying to gather them, what exactly happened to them? Because clearly they wouldn't have gone off to a beckoning if they have locations marked here. Are they all torpid? Are they hiding?
Jara told me not to ask.
I bet they did.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that something is going on here. And obviously the less that people know, the better for him.
We need to go if we're going to catch up to Hal's neck.
Arthur, a cigarette, please.
Absolutely. And just passing it over to Marius, I am now extra special looking over all the random assortment of things to see if any of these things look like weapons.
Yes. No. You don't see anything that looks like weapons. Yes, sorry, Marius.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You don't see that anything looks like weapons, but as you hand Marius a cigarette, everyone takes one last look around the place. Here's something important. Do you take the map off of the board?
Probably, if we need to remember. Well, I did take pictures of everything, but yes.
All right. So last thing I'm going to point out to you is that there is one location on the map that does not correspond with any of the names. It's an antique store in Chinatown called Persnickety Antiquity. And it's circled many, many, many times. I believe Marius, Vern, and Arthur would have heard of this place, and you know that it is owned by a kindred. As far as you're aware, it is an autarchus of some unknown clan. But it's circled many, many, many times. And there are many symbols or scribblings around it that make it seem like this is the ultimate target.
Should we warn this person?
Do we even know who this person is? Could this be our missing individual on this list then?
So the question becomes whether you go to this antique store, which isn't going anywhere, or if you go and attempt to follow the trail of Sarah Milton. But before you all can make that decision, Arthur, you receive a phone call.
Excuse me a moment. Oh, over here, over to the side.
It is.
Do I recognize the number?
Yes, it's Forrest.
Okay.
Forrest, and immediately he sounds panicked. And he says, Arthur, I lost her.
Elaborate.
I was driving her to her mother's house in Belchertown, and she jumped out of the fucking window on I-28, and I don't know where the fuck she went. I'm trying to find her. I'm driving the wrong way on the highway right now.
Whereabouts are you?
I told you, I'm on I-28. I'm almost back into the city
More
limits.
specific.
She kept saying she needed to get something from her apartment. I told her I would bring her whatever it is that she wanted, but she needed to get something from her apartment. So I think she fucking jumped out the goddamn window and ran her ass across four lanes to get back to her apartment.
I will go there first, and I will meet you either there or on the way. Keep looking.
Just get there fast and make sure she doesn't fucking get hit by a car.
That's the plan. I'll hang up the phone, turn to the others, and go, we need to find Richard's body, so I'd probably say go to where this detective is going to be going first. I have something that I need to handle in the meantime, so I'm going to reconvene with you all. Great.
Be safe, Art. He's going to be looking for you. He doesn't like it when people have the same name as him.
Shut up, Vern.
I have other things to worry about at the moment.
Please go,
I will-
Arthur. Please, just go. You don't have to make an excuse. Just go.
I'm exiting out, and I'm out down the stairs or elevator, whichever one's faster. Out, and then I'm all the way back to the to the radio station to grab my bike to go faster.
Perfect. We'll check in with Arthur and whatever is going on with Peggy Not next time, but the time after that. But for now, Marius and Vern, you both get a text message from Briony. And she's asking you to meet her at her club. That she needs to get caught up on what's going on. That she seems to have satisfied the prince. And that we need to find Richard now.
He sends a thumbs up.
Vern, do you reply?
No.
Of course, Celeste, you don't know who they're talking about or who they're texting. But if there's anything that the three of you would like to do or say to each other, now is the time to do it before we end our session. Yes.
Marius doesn't smoke.
I know.
But with the flame, thank you. With the flame of the cigarette, hopefully finding either like some kerosene or some kind of a flammable liquid, they want to light this apartment on fire.
Yeah, there's plenty of alcohol in here. Liquor.
Perfect. And I think they're just going to have a little tantrum, just smashing bottles and grumbling to themselves because they're the only competent one in the room, which isn't true, but they're upset right now. And as they all exit, they just close the door and flick it in there.
So as I'm to understand, you are causing a fire in this building.
Yes.
All right. The consequences of that will be dealt with at a later time. And thank you, everyone, so much for joining us for the first episode of Cradle of Liberty of Somber Dreams. Thank you, everyone.